Hi, this is Jen, and I'm bringing you some bits from the kitchen. This week, Ralph and I were tricked by the chicken. That's right, tricked by a chicken. So, as some of you know, Ralph is particularly sensitive to fluoride. So, if you have a fluoride sensitivity that you know of, and like to know those little secret places fluoride can hide in your food and water sources, or if you're curious about what some of the symptoms can be for people that are sensitive to fluoride, especially sensitive to fluoride and how it can affect the body, or if you're just wondering why we are so incredibly picky about our food, this is a video for you. So, Ralph had recently been noticing some things about his body that we didn't particularly at first relate to fluoride. Over the past few weeks, he had been a little more tired than he expected to be, and his low back was a little achy, his inner thighs were itchy and a little achy too. His muscles were feeling sore. His body wasn't feeling quite right. And we thought, oh, well, he's training for an ultramarathon. He's getting up early and doing lots of meditation in the morning, lots of extra preparing the space for his clients, things like that. And we thought, well, maybe all of that is just kind of stacking up and he's a little more tired than usual, but we hadn't related it to fluoride yet. And finally, the other day, it hit us, yesterday, in fact. He was feeling like he was walking on stilts, and that's one of our telltale signs that something might be fluoride in our food sources. And that happens pretty rarely at this point, but we do find tricky things here and there that get us. And so he was feeling like he was walking on stilts and his bones were brittle, and we thought, oh my gosh, this array of symptoms you've been having the past few weeks, what if it's fluoride? And it makes sense because low back is where the kidneys and ureters are, and they would be filtering out that fluoride and be getting a little extra work, especially in his body that's very sensitive to it. And the inner thighs are, in Chinese medicine, that's where the kidney channel runs. So it makes sense that that's where he was experiencing some itchiness and some soreness. His muscles were sore. I think that can be related to just the body being tired from the extra activity of extracting the toxin and not being happy about the toxin. And then also his bones feeling brittle and him feeling like he is teetering. Fluoride can affect the neurological system, so he gets neurological symptoms if he starts accumulating some fluoride over a few weeks. And fluoride is attracted to bones, so he has definitely noticed bone symptoms before where his bones feel more brittle instead of flexible. So all of these things lined up for us. We realized it yesterday and we said, oh, this is your fluoride symptom. These are your fluoride symptoms. What have we been doing differently? And it was the chicken. So about 6 weeks ago, a little over 6 weeks ago, we had some friends make us a chicken. And it was delicious. And I have been scared of the whole chicken. They don't turn out for me. I had avoided cooking a whole chicken, even though I love the idea of chicken in our rotation. I love the idea of having a carcass and using the whole chicken to make the bones to make bone stock. Chickens are really easy to use the whole animal, and I like that idea. And so I got inspired, I got brave after my friend made us this chicken and it was so delicious. And I added one chicken in a week and it was awesome. We were able to get meat for 2 dinners out of it, some leftover lunches, and I had a carcass and bones to make stock that ended up being in just about every meal with my week. It really flowed with my weekly meal plan. So we were loving it. And we were about 6 weeks into that when we discovered these symptoms, and we thought, you know what, it's probably the chicken. We didn't suspect it at first because the chicken is organic, it's air chilled, it's pastured. all the right things. So it should contain very little water. Sometimes you run into with chickens that aren't air chilled, the way that they're cleaned, they're soaking in water and they retain a lot of extra water from that. And so we were avoiding that. But we also weren't able to get local chickens because of the time of year it is. The local chicken supply is a little low because of the time of harvesting the chickens. Most people are running a little low on their butchered chickens. The farmer's market is once a month instead of every month. It has less vendors. It's just a tricky time to source locally for chickens, and I got lazy and sourced at our awesome co-op, which is awesome, and they would have no idea about this. And even probably the people that make the chickens, they do a great job. It is a great company and great chickens, but my super sensitive fluoride tester sniffed out that somewhere in the chain, we're pretty sure these chickens are getting fluoride. It might be the water that they consume, because they probably source from various farms. I'm not even sure we're going to be able to track it down. We're going to call and see if we can. But it could be the water they consume. It could be the feed that they supplement with. It's organic, it's great feed, but maybe it involves plants that accumulate any fluoride in the environment. It could be even just the washing of the chickens, but we're kind of suspect of something the chicken consumes and that gets into its bones, and that would be affecting our bone stock. So yes, we're pretty sure that's the source, and we are having to cut the chicken out because we were tricked by the chicken these past 6 weeks. And thank goodness Ralph is already feeling better. He's doing some of his usual things to detox fluoride out of his body if we have something tricky happen. Again, it doesn't happen often. When it does, it always surprises us. We always figure it out. He was able to detox his body, and once we remove the source, his body instantly feels better as well. So we're pretty sure we sleuthed this one out, and we'll let you know if we find any more tricky chickens or tricky situations that involve sneaky fluoride getting into your food sources. All right, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed this little bit from the kitchen, and hope it helps keep you happy, healthy, and whole.